ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। 97th class. वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रम्
वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रम्
ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम्
नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम्
मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय
मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय
तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते।
तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते।
स्थूलशरीर अभिमानी
स्थूलशरीराभिमानी
जीवनामकम्
जीवनामकं
ब्रह्म प्रतिबिम्बं भवति।
ब्रह्मप्रतिबिम्बं भवति।
स एव जीवः
स एव जीवः प्रकृत्या
अस्मादीश्वरं भिन्नत्वेन जानाति।
स्वस्मादीश्वरं भिन्नत्वेन जानाति।
अविद्या उपाधिसन्नात्मा
अविद्या उपाधिसत् आत्मा
जीव इति उच्यते।
जीव इति उच्यते।
माया उपाधिसन्नात्मा
माया उपाधिसत् आत्मा
ईश्वरः इति उच्यते।
ईश्वरः इति उच्यते।
एवम् उपाधिभेदात्
एवम् उपाधिभेदात्
जीवेश्वर दृष्टिः जीवेश्वर भेद दृष्टिः
जीवेश्वर भेद दृष्टिः
यावत् पर्यन्तं तिष्ठति
यावत् पर्यन्तं तिष्ठति
तावत् पर्यन्तं
तावत् पर्यन्तं
जन्मकरणादिरूपसंसारः
जन्म मरणादिरूपसंसारः
अनिवर्तते।
न निवर्तते।
अस्मात् कारणात्
तस्मात् कारणात्
न जीवेश्वरयोगो
न जीवेश्वरयोः
भेदबुद्धिः
भेदबुद्धिः
स्वीकार्य
स्वीकार्य
तनु
ननु
अहङ्कारस्य किञ्चिज्ञस्य जीवस्य
अहङ्कारस्य किञ्चिज्ञस्य जीवस्य
निरहङ्कारस्य सर्वज्ञस्य ईश्वरस्य
निरहङ्कारस्य सर्वज्ञस्य ईश्वरस्य
तत्त्वमसीति वाक्यात् महावाक्यात्
तत्त्वमसीति महावाक्यात्
कथं भेदबुद्धिः स्यात्
भेदबुद्धिः स्यात्
उभयोः विरुद्धधर्माक्रान्तत्वात् इति चेत्
उभयोर्विरुद्धधर्माक्रान्तत्वात् इति चेत्
न
न
स्थूलसूक्ष्मशरीर अभिमानी
स्थूलसूक्ष्मशरीराभिमानी
त्वम्पदवाच्यार्थः
त्वम्पदवाच्यार्थः
उपाधिविनिर्मुक्तम्
उपाधिविनिर्मुक्तम्
समाधिदशासम्पन्नम्
समाधिदशासम्पन्नम्
शुद्धं चैतन्यम्
शुद्धं चैतन्यम्
लक्ष्यार्थः
त्वम्पदलक्ष्यार्थः
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 एवम्
एवम्
सर्वज्ञत्वादिविशिष्टः ईश्वरः
सर्वज्ञादिविशिष्टः ईश्वरः
तत्पदवाच्यार्थः
तत्पदवाच्यार्थः
उपाधिशून्यम्
उपाधिशून्यम्
शुद्धचैतन्यम्
शुद्धचैतन्यम्
तत्पदलक्ष्यार्थः
तत्पदलक्ष्यार्थः
So we are discussing the Mahavakya Tattvamasiti. Tattvam Asi. There is an equation between two seemingly different things. One is Jiva, other one is Ishvara. Tatpadena Ishvaraha Abhigitaha, Tvanpadena Jivaha Abhigitaha. By Tatpadam Ishvara is indicated, by Tvanpadam Jiva is indicated. So Ishvara, who is Jagat Karanam, that Ishvara is Jiva. If I am Ishvara, then why should I suffer in the world? I am a samsari, I suffer, I am subject to Sukham, Dukkham, Raga, Dvesha, all types of different sorts of problems and pains, disease, old age, and unwanted or all these situations, why should happen? And I suffer. How can I be equated to creator of this Jagat, Ishvara? That is the question. That question arises based on the appreciation of the difference between Jiva and Ishvara. So for the student, this equation, this This equation, equating Jiva and Ishvara, is not acceptable because of the differences what is seen. But what the teacher says is, in spite of the differences, this equation is valid. In fact, this equation, Mahavakya, great equation, is the vision, is a Tatparyam of the Shastram. What is known by your perception, what is understood by your perception, perceptual knowledge, what you know in your, what you know as the truth in your transactory world, Shastra dismisses that. In the transactory world, what is Satyam is Dvaitam. We have Dvaita Buddhi in the empirical world. Without Dvaita Buddhi, how can we do transaction? No transaction is possible. Class is not possible. There cannot be teacher and there cannot be students if Dvaita Buddhi is not there. There is no giver and there is no taker. Giver is there, taker is there, difference is there. Therefore, Dvaita Buddhi is there, Dvaitam is there. Otherwise, where is Dvaitam? Shastram doesn't negate the Dvaitam and Dvaitam from the standpoint of these Vyavaharika. Dvaitam being there, the Vyavaharika. In spite of the Dvaitam, what is Satyam is Advaita, Advaita Brahma. That is the teaching of the Shastra. How do you equate them? You see difference because of the difference in Upadhi. And Shastram or Shastram Upadhi is Mithya. Shastram dismisses the Upadhi and sees Jiva as Shuddha Chaitanyam and Ishvara as Shuddha Chaitanyam. Therefore, equated, therefore, equation is valid. This student cannot understand at the beginning. Therefore, he has to be taught. That is why teaching, that is why vichara. Mahavakyam is great equation. In fact, it's a small sentence. Tattvabodha asi, avam brahma asmi. Vakya vichara, the analysis of the statement, that is called vichara. Vicharaha kartavyaha. Avichara siddha is, I am different from Ishvara. That is avichara siddha. Without analysis, without vichara, the conclusion. That's conclusion everybody has. That is a normal conclusion. An unintelligent jiva has that conclusion. Avichara siddha. That is why vichara is required. Vichara of the Mahavakya. Being a vacuum, it consists of padam. Padanam samuham vakyam. Collection of words is called a sentence. And collection of letters is called a word. So Vakya Vichara involves Pada Vichara. Analysis of the Vakyam involves the analysis of the individual words of the sentence. 3 words are there. Tat, Tvam, Asi. Therefore, each word has to be explained. And that is what is being done. In fact, each word is explained in Gita. How it is explained? Tat, Tvam, Asi. Tvam is explained in the first 6 chapters of the Gita. Tattvabodha is explained in the next 6 chapters. It's called Shatkatrayam. How many chapters are there? 18 chapters. And Asipadam is elaborated in the last 6 chapters of the Gita. Totally 18 chapters. Gita also does the Pada Vichara elaborately in the form of each Padam through 6 chapters. It does. And Padam, because it is a Padam is Padam meaning word. And it has got technical definition also. Suptingantam Padam. According to is the grammar, Paninian grammar, it is technically defined as Suptingantam Padam. That which ends with Sup Pratyaya, Ting Pratyaya is called a Padam. If it ends with Ting Pratyaya, it's a Kriya Padam. Here Asi is the Kriya Padam. Tat and Tum are Nama Padam. So, therefore, here Tat and Tum both are, since both are equated, both are different things, Nama Padam, they are equated. So, therefore, taking first the word Tum Padam and then later Tat Padam, doing the analysis, then how it is, this Asi, the Aikyam is there, is going to be taught. So, Tum Padam. Tum, the Padam, what is a Padam? Padyate, Nyayate, Anena, Iti Padam. The Padam, as I said, Nama Padam, Kriya Padam, all these are there. The Nama Padam means a noun. A fully declined, refined word is called a Padam. A Padam reveals an object. A Padam reveals an object and it conveys the meaning of the word. The meaning of the word is called Padarthaha. The last class we saw Tat Tam Asi, the Mahavakya, and Tat is Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachanam of Tat Shabda. Tattetani Napumsakalinga, when you decline Takarantaha, Napumsakalingaha, Tat Shabdaha, Tattetani. So Tat, why Tat? Because Tat refers to Brahma. Brahma is Napumsakalinga, therefore Tat. And Tom is Takarantaha, Yushmat Shabdaha, Trishulingesha Samana Rupaha, Tom Yuvam Yuyam. That is how the declension is. And there the Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachanam is Tvam. So therefore, the knowledge of Vyakaranam is important. That is why, since Vakya involves Padam, and Padam Vichara only completes Vakya Vichara, therefore for Padajnanam, Vyakarana Jnanam also is important. That is why grammar also is being studied with Vedanta. So Padam is there. Padayogo Samanadikaranyam, Padarthayogo Vishesha Bhavaha iti. We have seen in the last class Samanadikaranyam. Why? Because that is Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachana. Tam is also Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachana. When both are in Ekavachanam, then one should be a Visheshana, other one should be Visheshya. This also recently we saw in our Sanskritam class. But in this Mahavakya, is it that we discussed? I gave many examples in the last class. Ayodhyaha Raja, Janakyaha Patihi, and all we saw in the last class. So here, Tattvam Asi, when you say that Tat is not an adjective. When two words are in opposition, when two words are have the same vibhakti, generally what we do, same vibhakti, same vachanam, it's called Samanadikaranam. Padayogo Samanadikaranam. Padartha Yoga Visheshana Visheshya Bhavaha. Padartha means what is revealed by the word. It's called Padartha. The meaning of the word is called Padartha. So generally is, when Pada I have got Samanadikaranyam, then what is denoted by the Padam, that is Padartha, among them there is Visheshana Visheshya Bhavaha. There is a relationship of adjective, substantive, adjective relationship. Here Tat Tam Asi, Tat is Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachanam, Tam also Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachanam. Therefore, Tat is not an Visheshana. Therefore, what did we saw in the last class? Bhada Samanadikaranyam. Samanadikaranyam, different types are there. Grammatically, Ting Samanadikaranyam we saw, and Visheshana Visheshya Samanadikaranyam is one type. Then we saw Bhada Samanadikaranyam, that is also we saw. So, therefore, in the Mahavakyam, what Samanadikaranyam, you can equate two things by dismissing a part of the meaning of the word dismissing a part of the meaning of the word and accepting the other part, accepting. In that way, you can bring in the equation. You can equate two words. That is what Bada Samanadi Kandan is about. So, therefore, a padam and the padartha. A padam reveals an object. You may ask how a padam reveals an object. Padartha meaning object. The padartha is padasya arthaha, the meaning of the word. For example, when I say vrikshaha, what is the meaning of the word vrikshaha? Vrikshaha means, it's a tree. So when I say vrikshaha is a padam. Immediately in your mind, some tree, the image of tree occurs in your mind. So the object, that is padartha, referred to by the word vrikshaha, which is a padam, it's called vachyarthaha. It's called vachyarthaha. The meaning, the immediate meaning, what occurs in your mind when you listen to the word vrikshaha, parvataha, pustakam. When you say, then the meaning apple, the meaning occurs in your mind, the image occurs in your mind, corresponding to the image corresponding to what the word is, padartha. They say apple is a word, just a word. You listen, when you hear the word apple, the image, corresponding image. You don't think about an orange. Immediately apple only occurs in your mind. Therefore, there's an intimate relationship between the word and what the word denotes, the word and meaning. You say. So the immediate meaning revealed by a padam is called vachyartha. This is called analysis, how you analyze the sentence. All these are done very elaborately in the Shastram. The Acharyas, the tradition, they do elaborate discussion, going to the very bottom of the topic, that is the word, and then discuss to make us understand. So here, the word tom is used. What is tom? Tom is pratama vibhakti of Ishmat Shabda, we know. So when I hear the word tom, or when I say the word tom, the immediate meaning of the word padam tom, which means the idea about you, that I, when you say tom, I, when I say tom, it is you. So the immediate meaning of the word, of the padam tom, what comes to your mind means I. Not pure I will come. You say I along with so many other attributes come to your mind. I means that is strongly with the body, mind, senses, it comes. Strong identification with this Stula Sharira. This is all because through this only we all do all our transaction. So strongly identified with the transactory world and therefore with this body. Therefore, when I say I, this image of myself comes to my mind. So that is the vachyartha. The immediate meaning of the word is called vachyartha. Now, stula sukshma sharira abhimani pada vachyartha. That's what it is. Stula sukshma sharira abhimani. That is, abhimani is the consciousness, chaitanyam. Chaitanyam identified by stula sukshma shariram is called vachyartha. That is how you have to translate this sentence. Consciousness identified with, as though consciousness can do the job of identification. It's not consciousness identifying. Consciousness mixed with stula sukshma shariram And that what is denoted by that is called Vachyartha, the immediate meaning. So Stula Sukshma Sharira Abhimani. Chaitanyam doesn't have Abhimana. Chaitanyam, that is pure consciousness, doesn't have Abhimanam and all. But because the person is, the person is, Stula Shariram is there, Sukshma Shariram is there, and there is I sense is there with the body and mind and senses, therefore Abhimani we have to say. But Abhimani refer to the Chaitanya. Abhimani, Chaitanyam doesn't have Abhimana, but when there is a combination of this Upadhi plus Chaitanyams, then Abhimani is there. From where this Abhimani comes? That is Maya. So therefore we have to translate it as consciousness identified with Stula Shariram and Sukshma Shariram. Helplessly we have to translate like that. It is not willingly the translation is being done. There is no other choice. Otherwise, how do we translate? So consciousness identified. That is why when you hear the words also, you have to understand it properly. We understand when we hear the sentence, when we hear the words, what it means. When I say consciousness identified, how can there be the identification of consciousness? Why, if that is so, why don't the consciousness identify with the world? We can ask. This is consciousness as though identified with the Stula Sukshma Sharira. That is how you have to say. As though identified. Because there is individuality. How can this individuality be there when the consciousness as though having identification with the Stula Sukshma Sharira not there? Therefore, we have to translate like that only. Or we can say consciousness as though, that is better. Iva, because everything is Iva only. Iva. Therefore, consciousness as though identified with Stula Sukshma Shariram is what is known by the word Tattvabodha, and that is the Vachyartha, the immediate meaning. So the word you in the equation, Mahavakya, you are that, Tat Tvam Asi, refer to what? Refer to the Chaitanyam which as though identifying with the Stula Sukshma Shariram. Upadhi Sagita Chaitanyam. That is what we say. When I say I am so and so. Who are you? Suppose if somebody asks, what do you say? Immediately you say your name. His name is you, it's just a word. It's not a word. The word, between the word and the form, there is an intimate connection. When you say Anupama, Anupama is just a word. And the word has got immediate or inseparable connection with the form the body and mind sense, that's the form. Intimate connection. No other form comes. Immediate. Vagartha vivasamprukta Vagartha pratipaktaye Jagatah pitaro vande Parvati Parameshwaro. How beautifully Kalidasa presents the vision of Vedanta. Vak and Artha, the word and the meaning, they are intimately connected, inseparably together. Like what? Parvati Parameshwaro, and they are the Jagatah Pitaro, they are the parent of the world. So Parvati and Parameshwara are intimately connected, so too the word and the meaning are intimately connected. Therefore, when I say you means you don't think about the pure Chaitanya. You don't think about that Agam Shuddha Chaitanyam, Agam Nityaha Buddha, that doesn't come to your mind. So what comes to your mind is this, that I with this body mind. So that is called Abhimanam, Abhimani, Tumpada Vachyartaha, the immediate meaning. So that is, therefore, it refers to Agankara. It refers to Tom when I say, it refers to Agankara with limited knowledge, everything limited. That is why he says Sagamkarasya, Kinchitnyasya, Kinchitnyaha. It's not Sarvajnyaha, Kinchitnyaha. All limitations walk it when I say I. Agankara is there, Kinchitnyaha is there. All limitation means you don't identify with the world. You don't identify with the Jagat. You identify with the small Shariram. Shariam is being limited, body being limited, mind being limited, and then I am insecure. I mean, all these things are centered on this I only. This is the immediate meaning of the word from the Mahavakya. The immediate meaning is called Vachyartha. Meaning, Artha means meaning. Vachya means direct or immediate. And or popular. That's what we call popular meaning. Popular meaning of the word I is with this upadhi. I doesn't refer to pure consciousness. In the popular understanding. In popular understanding, I doesn't refer to. When you study, then when you say I, pure self, capital self, yes, capital, then you know that is Chaitanya. So the Padam I, the immediate meaning of the Padam I or Tom, you refer to Stula Sukshma Sharira Abhimani. Now, a Padam, as I told, it is both a technical word and also it is used in the language. Padam meaning word. A Padam can refer to an object or it can refer to a part of the object, avayava of the object. Avayava means parts. So a Padam can refer to either an object or a part of the object. Possible. It can refer to a part also. For example, when I say my car is damaged, what does it mean when the car is damaged? My car is damaged. Not the whole car is damaged. Car has got so many parts. From tire to roof, so many parts are there. Door is there, bonnet is there, engine is there, and engine, other parts are there, wheels are there, gears are there. Then when you say car is damaged, which has got damage? The door would have got some dent because of some friction with the other vehicle, and therefore we say car is damaged. Door is damaged, and the car is in good condition, it can move, but you say car is damaged. When there is a break, a small crack in the window glass, you say my car is damaged, and you fight for it. The car is not a window, a part of the car, and that too a small crack, like an airline crack. It is there, and you say car is damaged. You have to say my part of my car is damaged, not the car is damaged. Car means it has got so many, but the whole thing is a car. That's assemblage. So when you say car is damaged, is everything damaged? The whole car, which has got more than 7,000 or 8,000 parts, the whole thing is damaged. Nothing is usable. Can't the car move, function? So therefore, when we say my car is damaged, we understand that the car doesn't mean the whole car. It refers to a part of the car. So therefore, a padam can mean a part of the object or represents the whole object. That is so. When I say I, what does it refer to? I, when I say I in the Vyavahara, we say I refer to what? Where I is, whether I meaning the whole or meaning a part. I, the individual, like car, is an assemblage. Car may have 7,000, 8,000 parts, but I have more parts in the car. Everything is beautifully assembled. I did not assemble. Bhagavan had made the assembly possible. His intelligence behind the assemblage, behind the assembly. He has intelligently put everything in a proper position and it is functional. He has put the nose right exactly in the middle of the face. Thank God it is not on the top of the head. Swamiji used to make fun. If Bhagavan had kept positioned the nose on the top of your head, and if you smoke, then how do you give out the smoke? Like a training steam engine. You smoke, you inhale the smoke through the mouth, and like a steam engine, you have to exhaust the smoke. So you become a running steam engine. Thank God Bhagavan did not make like that. And if you sneeze, what will happen? If the smoke is on the top of your head, everything is well placed. intelligently placed. So now when I say I, does it refer to my head, or does it refer to my legs or my nose or my stomach? What does it refer to? Does it refer to part of me, or does it refer to the whole thing? So I includes the shariram with all its parts, including sukshma shariram and karma shariram. So including sukshma as well as karana, and of course stula shariram. Therefore, I refers to, when I say I, it refers to Chaitanyam and the Shariratrayam. All three Shariram put together. Shariratrayam. The combination of consciousness and Shariratrayam. Consciousness plus the three bodies, Stula, Sukshma, and the Karma Shariram, is what is generally understood to be the meaning of the Padam Tvam, I, you. Tvam is you. Or I, whatever may be. Agam Brahmasmi, if you take the Mahavakyam, that the word Agam is there. So that is the meaning of the word I. So therefore, it refers to what? It refers to Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira, Abhimani. The consciousness as though identified with the Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, and Karana Shariram. That is the meaning of the word. Stula Sukshma Sharira Abhimani Tumpada Pachyartaha. It is Agankaraha. When you say Agankara, he also said Sagankarasya, Agankarena Sagavartate, Agankaraha, Agam iti Agamkaraha. Where this Agam is placed? Agam is placed only on this limited body mind senses. It is spatially limited, it is time-wise limited. So therefore, it is, when I say I, it is placed in this body which has got all the limitations. So all the limitations walks in. Agankara, when I say, I'm limited, this all the limitations. Limitation in terms of knowledge, limitations in terms of power, limitation in terms of my pervasiveness, limitations in terms of my lordship, everything. I don't have like Ishvara overlordship, nor all pervading or all powerful or all knowledge. Everywhere I am limited only. This is what Agankara is. So Agankara, this I, with the, this is means the Chaitanyam with the body mind senses. So therefore, all the worldly transactions, empirical transaction, it clearly shows that my identification with this Shariratrayam, Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharir. This is the commonly understood meaning, the immediate meaning of the word I, the I with all the limitations. This is the I what we use in our everyday transaction. When you say, I need a place to live, I want to sleep, I want food, I want to have everything that pleases me. That what is it I? This is the limited I, that Ahankara, which is what is referred to by the word Tvam. So now here the teacher says that is not the meaning of the I to be taken in the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. That's why he said, Stula Sukshma Sharira Avimani Tampada Vachyartaha Upadi Vinirmuktam. Upadi Sagita Shuddha Chaitanyam Upadi Sagita, that is, along with conscious, along with body, mind, senses, the consciousness, Chaitanyam along with Stula Sharira Upadi, Sukshma Sharira Upadi, that Abhimana which you have is what is appreciated as I. All our transaction we do in the empirical world because of this Abhimana. If this Abhimanam also is required for transaction, if this Abhimanam is not there, but this Abhimanam, if this Abhimanam is not there, transaction is not possible. For a Jnani, this Abhimana is Mithya. That is the difference. For an Ajnani, this Abhimanam is Satyam. Without this Abhimanam, the transaction is not possible. The Jnani also has this Abhimanam, but that Abhimanam doesn't bind the Jnani because he has got Jnana. This Abhimanam, I am not limited to the body, mind, senses. He knows Therefore, if this abhimanam is not there, suppose the abhimanam with the body, mind, sense is not there, then will you say, I am hungry, I'm thirsty, I want food, I want this, I want that, agam sukhi, agam dukhi? You will never say that if this abhimanam is not there. There is a jnani, he is free with this abhimanam, he is happy with everything and happy without everything. The sharira abhimanam is that it is mithya for him. He also has a shariram, moves with the shariram, but he knows very well it is that is why he doesn't have any particular demands for the sharira. Whatever is available for his survival, whatever comes in life, he accepts and he enjoys being what it is. He doesn't have, since he doesn't have abhimanam with the body, mind, senses. So whatever be the condition of the body, whether it is fair or dark, he doesn't have any complexion. Whether the body suffers or not, he doesn't have problem. He says, I don't suffer. So sukha, dukkha and all, sukha and dukkha, all this cannot touch the jnanam of the jnani. That is why in the Gita we have seen, Bhagavan Krishna has said, Dukkeshu anudviknamanaha, Sukeshu vigataspragaha, Vitaraga bayakrodaha, Stitadhir munirukchate. The Stataprajna Lakshanam, Stataprajna, about Stataprajna, Bhagavan Krishna beautifully says, Navinandati nadveshti, Tasya prajna pratishtita iti. So, that is jnani. Doesn't have any demands, therefore it means he doesn't have that abhimanam, the strong abhimanam as an ajnani jiva has. He has got only that much abhimanam for doing transaction in the world. That's all. So it is not binding abhimanam. Whereas for an ajnani, that abhimanam is so strong, it is binding. Jnani as abhimanam only as much it is required for maintaining this body, for the prarabdha to go, for the prarabdha to exhaust. Only that much. That's all. Jnani as a jnana that agam Shuddha Chaitanya, I am consciousness. Agam Atma Chaitanyam iti. So that analogy is Agam Nityaha Achedyoyam Adagyoyam Akledyo Shoshayevata Nityas Sarvagatasthanahu Achaloyam Sanatanaha Nainam Chandanti Shastrani Nainam Jagati Bhavataha Achainam Kledagintyapaha Ashoshayati Marutaha Avyaktoyam Achintyoyam Avikaryoyam Uchate. Jnani knows. Nityaha sarvagataha agam shuddhaha purnaha nityaha nirvikalpaha asandaha nirvikaraha sarvagataha muktaha. He knows agam shuddha chaitanyam. Therefore, jnani is free from all this notional bondage. Whereas for an ajnani, only for an ajnani, this abhimanam with this body, mind, senses is there, and that is why he has to be taught tat tum asi. So, an ajnani can never refer himself to as only Chaitanya. Shuddha Chaitanya we cannot say. Therefore, in the immediate meaning Vachyartha, there is a Veda. Therefore, there is a difference in the understanding of the word, the Tvam, between a Jnani and an Ajnani. Jnani knows what it is. When you say Jnani, Tvam means Tvam without any attributes only. You will say Nagam Shuddha Chaitanya Mityaha Purnaha iti. Whereas for Ajnanitvam means he will bring all the attributes of the Upadhi. Attributes of the Upadhi he will bring in. So therefore, if you take the literal meaning, immediate meaning of the word Tvam, then there is a Veda, there is a difference between Tvam and Tat. Between Tattvabodha and Tattvabodha, there is difference. There is difference. Clear difference is there between Tvam and Tat, that is Ishvara. Why difference? The student himself has given in the form of the objection because of the difference in attributes. What attributes? Totally opposite attributes. And Shastram resolves the difference presenting there is no real difference by the teaching. By the teaching, it shows. It's only a seeming difference. It is not the real difference. How do we know? That is only by vichara. It is only a seeming difference. Therefore, not real difference. Therefore, there is no Veda, Abeda. Therefore, Abeda Buddhi. Therefore, you need to have Abeda Buddhi. For Abeda Buddhi only, the teaching is required, the knowledge is required. So, since in the immediate meaning, there is an Ajnani, a student, a Mumukshu as sees a difference between Tam and Tat. Because of the popular meaning of the word Tam, that is with Chaitanya with body, mind, sense complex. I am tall, I am short, I am fair, black, I am deaf, blind. All these are from the standpoint of Stula Shariram. When I say I am 5 feet 5 inches, I am brown in color, I am 47 years old, I am male, I am single. Every sentence, if you take in this, it has got the word I. So I having so many attributes, adjectives. I has got so many, and also the I has got so many things put together, like the assemblage of the car. As I told, the car has got so many parts, and those parts alone cannot make a car. Starting from the engine, wheel, carburetor, steering system, gear, clutch, etc., dashboard, various control, and down to the smallest nut and bolts. Everything constitute the assemblage called car. A small piece of this nut and bolt cannot make a car. All these things put together make a car. Therefore, car is put together. You cannot spread all the parts of the car on the floor and say this is a car. When they are separated, disassembled, dismantled, and it is spread on the floor, it is not a car. They are just the individual parts. Nut, bolt, even if engine is separated, it's just an engine. When they are put together, and that put together also intelligently to be done, not randomly. It should be functional when you put together. Everything should be in its proper place. Then it becomes a car. Now, where is a car? The car is just a word. And it doesn't really exist because we use the word car as though it exists. That is called mithya. Similarly, with reference to I also. When I say I, what is this I? Like the car, our body has got so many parts. Internal parts are there, external parts are there, and internally so many parts are there. External parts are at least we can say see, and they are limited. Internally, so many parts are there. Now, if all these things are spread on the floor, your lung, nose, heart, legs, everything, is it me then? The lung is not me, the liver is not me, nose is not me, but everything when put together intelligently, it becomes me. Everything when it is in a random zigzag way, if you put it in a box, it cannot make me. All the parts have been to be intelligently put together and it should be functional. Then that's what makes I. So what does this I mean then? How far the meaning of the word I can go? When I say I am in India, it means my location, my position now is in India. This body is located now in India. I am in America. This body is located in the Sula Sharira. As Sula Shariram is there only has to be Sukshma and Karma Shariram. You cannot keep your Sukshma Shariram in India and go to America with Sula Shariram. Alive. So therefore, this I refers to what? I refers to when I say I am in a particular location. It refers to the presence of me, the physical body in a location. When I say I am hungry, that I refers to prana. Prana is a part. When I say I am angry, then that anger is an the emotion that refers to the part of the individual, that is the mind. When I say I built this building, I did this, solved this puzzle, that I refer to Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is another part. Therefore, from the standpoint of the Kosha, or from the standpoint of the Shariratrayam, this I is put together. Therefore, the sense of this I is scattered all over. Sometimes it is on the body, sometimes it is on the mind, sometimes on the senses. Therefore, where is this I? which is scattered all over. Therefore, I have body consciousness. When I have abhimana with the body, I have body consciousness. When I have abhimana with this anger, I have got anger consciousness, thirst consciousness. When I do action, doer consciousness. When I enjoy Anandamaya Kosha, enjoyer consciousness. Therefore, I am conscious of so many things. I'm conscious of this body. I'm conscious of all the experiences which the body and the mind undergoes. They're all recognized by me, in the presence of which they're all recognized by me, in the presence of consciousness. I'm conscious of everything in the presence of me, and everything is I experience. And therefore, this I is scattered all over it. The meaning of the I is penetrates as though into me, and it as though it penetrates into me and stops and resolves in that what we call is Shuddha Chaitanya. Without Chaitanyam, this I cannot be, without the scattering of the I, that is the I which is scattered all over, that cannot be there without Shuddha Chaitanya. The meaning, the I meaning Shuddha Chaitanya, but our I, what the I we use in our Vyavahara, it is scattered all over. And without Shuddha Chaitanya, this Mithya I will not be there. So everything comes to light in the presence of this Shuddha Chaitanya only. Everything is illumined by Chaitanya only. Everything become an object of recognition because of this Chaitanya. In the presence of Chaitanya only, it is. So body is illumined, mind is illumined, all the Indriyas are illumined because of Chaitanya. Therefore, Chaitanya without being a subject, it illumines every object. Every object consciousness, every object what we experience, and therefore the corresponding consciousness, object consciousness, is because of this Chaitanyam alone. And that consciousness, the Chaitanyam, that can be appreciated as it is present in and through every object consciousness. Whether it is sound consciousness or touch consciousness or smell consciousness or form consciousness or taste consciousness, when you operate the Indriyas, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, the Indriya Vishaya, all this through the Indriyas, the object Indriya Vishayas are perceived and they become the touch, form, smell, taste, all these become the object of consciousness. They all become the object of consciousness. What about me? I am that consciousness without being an object. When I hear a sound, that is sound consciousness. When I touch an object, that is touch consciousness. So in every perception, consciousness is there. So perception involves the object, therefore object consciousness. But what about the consciousness? The consciousness, can it become an object? In the presence of consciousness only, all knowledge, all consciousness, the object consciousness, etc., all knowledge happens. Every knowledge I gain because of this consciousness, but consciousness itself cannot become an object. That is why we say sound consciousness, touch consciousness, form consciousness, smell consciousness. There is no consciousness. Consciousness itself cannot become an object. That is the meaning of the word I. Shuddha Chaitanyam. The word we have to interpret. What is Shuddha? Therefore, the word Tvam refers to I, means you, that is I or you, whatever may be. It refers to Shuddha Chaitanyam. Tvam is Shuddhaha. Because it is free from Upadhi. Upadhi Vinirmuktam. In all object consciousness, object may vary. When the object of your perception changes, object consciousness changes. Now I see Vriksha, tree consciousness. After that I see a lotus consciousness. So as the object coming under the vision, my vision changes, corresponding consciousness happen, object consciousness. Objects vary, therefore different object consciousness. But what about the consciousness, which is you? Does it vary? It doesn't vary. It never varies. Upadhis are subject to variation, but Tvam is never variable. It is invariable. Upadhis being Mithya, they are many and they are variable. Every object which you come across in the world, including your body, mind, senses, Shariramana Sangata, it's an Upadhi only. They are Mithya. Even thought of your mind, vritti, manovritti also is an upadhi. So upadhi is mithya. When you see a flower, you are conscious of the flower, flower consciousness. The flower is a upadhi for consciousness, to become flower consciousness. Flower is not an attribute of consciousness. When you see a flower, you hold a lotus in your hand and see the lotus consciousness. You have the knowledge, perception of lotus consciousness. Now, is lotus is an attribute of consciousness? If it is an attribute of consciousness, when you see a vriksha, a tree, there also lotus must be there. Therefore, flower is not an attribute of that consciousness. When I see a flower, what will happen if flower is an attribute? If it happens, then every consciousness, there will be flower. In every consciousness, the flower consciousness will be there. So when I see you, so you plus flower consciousness. When I see the moon plus flower consciousness. But that is not. So therefore, flower is not an attribute. Therefore, consciousness without attributes. Consciousness without attributes. The flower, etc., all these are this object. They cannot become the subject consciousness. Subject, the consciousness remains as it is and the object changes. When the flower consciousness is replaced by pot consciousness, the flower consciousness goes and it is and pot consciousness comes. Therefore, pot is not an attribute of consciousness. And now pot consciousness is replaced by cloth consciousness. Now cloth is replaced by mat consciousness. So the object of consciousness are always variable, but consciousness, the Chaitanyam, is always invariable, never varies with the object. Therefore, these are all variables. The variables are called upadhi. So what is the meaning of the upadhi? The variables are called upadhi. That is the meaning of the word upadhi. That which changes, that which is not real, that which is mithya, that which is variable in all cognition is called, that which is variable in all cognition is called upadhi, and that which is invariable in all cognition, that is called consciousness. The redness of the crystal, a crystal is colorless. The redness of the crystal is due to upadhi. If you place a red flower near the colorless crystal, the crystal appears red. Therefore, the redness is due to the upadhi. The upadhi is flower. Upasamipe stitva sviyan gunan anyan adadati. That is called upadhi. A flower, a red flower, sitting near, closer to the the crystal, which is colorless, what it does, it spreads its color to the crystal. Now, if you remove the red flower, you keep a blue lily, the crystal appears blue. Now, the crystal which was red in color, it has become blue. Now, what would the crystal say? Will the crystal say, I am red, I am blue? I was red, I am blue. Therefore, I am colorless. No color belongs to me. I am colorless. Similarly, Chaitanya Atma also, it is free from upadhi. If you consider Chaitanya with upadhi, that is a mistake. That is what a mistake everyone, in everyday life, they does. Identifying with this body, mind, senses. Strong abhimana with this upadhi. That is the immediate meaning of the word tvam. But Chaitanya Atma, Chaitanyam, it is free from upadhi. Therefore, upadhi vinirmuktam Chaitanyam means the Chaitanyam, pure consciousness. Upadhi vinirmuktam Chaitanyam. Vinirmuktam means pure consciousness. That is the meaning of the word tvam. It means lakshyartha. Tvam-pada lakshyartha. Tvam-pada lakshyartha is upadhi vinirmuktam Chaitanyam minus upadhi. What is there? What is there? That is Shuddha Chaitanyam minus upadhi. As I told, in all the different consciousness, the object of consciousness varies. There are upadhi. If you remove the upadhi, what is there? That is Shuddha Chaitanyam, and that is you, and that is the lakshyartha of the word tvam padam in the Mahavakya tat tvam asi. Then the next word is the samadhi dasha sampannam, that we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। Understand all of you?
धन्यवादः।
Yes,
Guruji.
What is taught in Tattvabodha is alone is taught in the Upanishads. So, since it is a fundamental text, it is to be understood clearly, and it's the statements. Better to memorize this Tattvabodha. We always refer when we study Pratana Grantha or Upanishads. We refer. Knowledge of Tattvabodha has to be thorough. Therefore, it is worth spending time.
धन्यवादः गुरुजी।
धन्यवादः गुरुजी। धन्यवादः गुरुजी।
धन्यवादः गुरुजी।
धन्यवादः गुरुजी।
धन्यवादः।